Hi everyone, I'm Sam Robertson from Jim's Building Inspections. We're here today with Tim Freshney. Now we're at a new construction site, so we've got a house being built here, and Tim's been organised by the client to do what's called a stage report. A lot of people don't realise that they can actually get private consultants to help them during the stages of construction. So during the building process, it can become really stressful, can't it, Tim?
Yeah.
Especially at that stage where a progress payment's due.
Yes. So quite often we'll get a phone call from a client saying, am I okay to pay this stage? And we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars here, so people tend to get a little bit nervous, and particularly not understanding the methods and the stages of construction. It can be really handy to have someone who's independent from everyone, without an agenda. Really all we're doing is just giving that advice, and that sort of all comes in together with the actual inspections that we do as well.
So the stages generally with a building such as this is the slab stage, frame, lock-up,
Yep.
and handover. Now we look like here we're pretty close to lock-up, so that's probably a time when you're doing a lock-up stage report. So what are some of the things we're looking for here?
So this is a really good stage because it's about the sort of point where they're about to put insulation in the walls. At that point, the frame's been checked, the building surveyors come through, we've come through as well, and then after that point, the building surveyor actually doesn't look at the job again until it's completed. Plaster on the walls, painted, cabinets in, everything's finished. So it's really good to get in there and see what's happened to the frame, how it may have been altered by the plumbers or electricians. Usually it's fine, but sometimes there's some elements of the frame that have been altered in an inappropriate way that need to get addressed before it gets plastered, and it's hidden forever. And that's where you can get those cracks in the house and those sort of things that you think might be due to a bit of subsidence or a bit of land movement, but are actually the result of something that happened during the process that just shouldn't have happened. So going through and getting those reports to the builder so they can rectify those things are really important.
Now, a lot of the time we get clients ringing up at handover stage, which is a very important report, but really the key is to get us in nice and early so that we can see behind the walls.
Exactly, yeah. Look, we can use thermal imaging and all those sort of things to try and get some information, but there's nothing like seeing it during that process. I can't tell you if the waterproofing's been done correctly at the end of a job where it's been built, but I can give you some more input if I see it during the process. And as good as it is to get that final defects report and really cement that in for the builder, it can also just being aware that is missing some of those stages that are potentially quite helpful through the process as well. Because a lot of the time we actually hear from the clients after they've had all these problems, and then they're sort of at their wits' end, and then they contact us and we come through and we look at things, but we can only look at what we can see. We can't start pulling walls down and things like that. So being able to see that through all the stages is really important. You can see here the walls have been straightened, so the timber's been planed off, and there's also been some packing added. You've got your wall bracing here, it's all nicely attached. You can feel it's been nailed off, which is good. This is a party wall, so there's a unit on the other side here. You can see these brackets. They're part of the fire system. They're actually designed to melt if there's a fire, so it doesn't affect the other side of the house. Part of the things I'm looking at here is where these plumbing pipes are running through. I'm just looking to make sure they haven't cut through any of the structural timbers in the roof. In the ceiling space here, but which is in the floor space. You can see here they've made a modification to the steel, which I'll be putting on a report to say, to check the engineering for that, because technically, unless it's been engineered, which it looks like it probably has been because they've put a couple of extra bits of steel in there, you shouldn't be cutting holes in steel that big. But they've obviously needed to do that to run these plumbing pipes through. And you can see here They haven't actually finished fitting off the plumbing, so that'd go in the report as an incomplete item. You can see that there's a plumbing pipe there that hasn't been fit off. Little bits of surface rust like this are generally not too much of an issue. We've got a sump pump here, the sump for the box gutter there that runs out to outside. So we'll be getting the thermal imaging camera on that to see if there's any moisture been coming through there, just to make sure that that is actually sealed. But for the most part, this looks like it's pretty much ready for installation.